You haven't said a word. You haven't called them. You haven't reached for them. Maybe you're just sitting there, quieter than usual, trying to hold yourself together. And somehow, your dog already knows. They leave the other room. They walk over without being called. They sit beside you, lean into you, or rest their head on you like something in the room has changed. Most people assume it's simple. Maybe your dog wants attention. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they've learned that when you sit still for long enough, something usually happens. But science suggests something much stranger. Because when your dog comes to you in moments like this, they may be responding to changes in your face, your voice, your posture, your breathing, even your chemistry, before you fully noticed those changes yourself. Dogs are highly sensitive to human emotional cues, and studies show they can use human facial expressions, voice-related information, and owner emotional signals as meaningful information rather than background noise. And most owners have no idea how deep that goes. Let's start with the obvious explanation, because it sounds right. Dogs come over because coming over works. They approach you, and maybe they get petted. Maybe you talk to them. Maybe they get invited onto the couch. Maybe comfort becomes a habit. Simple. But here's the problem. That explanation falls apart in the moments when your dog comes to you and seems to want nothing at all. No pawing, no whining, no looking at the treat cabinet, no sprinting to the door, just quiet closeness. And that matters because when a behavior appears most strongly during emotionally charged moments, it often means the dog is responding to something deeper than routine. Research on dog-human attachment shows owners are not merely reward dispensers. They function as psychologically special figures for many dogs. So sometimes, your dog is not coming to you because they want something from you. Sometimes they're coming to you because you are the thing that matters. This is where the story changes. At Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest, researchers adapted the same attachment framework used to study human infants and found that dogs show organized attachment behavior toward their owners. The patterns included proximity seeking and different responses to separation and reunion, suggesting that for many dogs, the owner is not just familiar. The owner is an attachment figure. And attachment figures do two things. They act as a secure base when the world feels manageable, and they become a safe haven when something feels wrong. That second part matters here, because when your emotional state changes, your dog may not understand the story in your head. They may not know why you're sad, but attachment doesn't require language. It only requires this: something about the person I'm bonded to no longer feels the same, and now I need to be closer. Owner-specific secure base studies found dogs were more willing to engage with the environment and persist on tasks when their owner was present, showing that the owner changes how safe the world feels. Your dog may not be interrupting your sadness. They may be moving toward the safest bond they know. But this isn't just psychology, it's chemistry too. In 2015, researchers at Azabu University in Japan published a study in Science showing that when dogs gaze at their owners and the owners gaze back, both experience increases in oxytocin, one of the key neurochemicals involved in bonding and affiliation. The interaction forms a positive loop. Dog gaze increases owner oxytocin, which promotes more affiliative behavior, strengthening the exchange. The same effect did not appear in the same way with hand-raised wolves. That means closeness between you and your dog is not just emotional in the poetic sense, it is biological. So when your dog comes over quietly in a hard moment, lies against you and looks up at your face, that may not be random comfort seeking. It may be one part attachment, one part emotional monitoring, and one part bond maintenance system that humans and dogs built together over thousands of years. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Dogs do not just notice that you are there. They notice what kind of there you are. Research shows dogs can discriminate human emotional facial expressions, and other work shows they can integrate emotional information across different senses, including what they see and what they hear. In other words, your dog is not only looking at your face, they are combining cues. Your eyes look different, your voice sounds flatter, your shoulders drop, your movements slow down, your body carries more tension, and your dog is paying attention. In social referencing studies, dogs used emotional information from owners to guide how they responded to unfamiliar situations. That means your emotions do not just affect your dog indirectly. Your dog actively uses your state to interpret what is happening around them. So when you feel sad, your dog may not be reacting to one signal. They may be reacting to all of you at once. This is the part most owners feel in their gut. Why does your dog come to you when you're sad? Because sadness changes you in ways your dog can detect. You move differently, you breathe differently, you sound different. And under stress, even your smell can change. A 2024 study found that the odor of a stressed person affected dogs' responses in a cognitive bias task, showing that human stress odor alone can influence dog behavior even without visual or auditory cues. Earlier research also found dogs can distinguish positive from negative human emotional information across modalities. That does not necessarily mean your dog understands sadness the way another human would, but it does mean they can detect that something in you has shifted. And when a bonded dog detects that shift, coming closer makes sense. Not because they've solved your emotions like a therapist, not because they understand every reason you're hurting, but because the person they are attached to suddenly feels different. And for a dog that loves you, that matters a lot. There's one last thing I need to tell you, and it may be the most important part of this video. If your dog has always come to you during emotional moments and then suddenly stops, or if a dog who never did this suddenly starts doing it constantly, pay attention to the pattern. Sometimes the reason is emotional, a major life change, stress in the home, a new routine, loss, tension they feel but cannot understand. But sometimes the reason is physical. Attachment-related behavior and attention to owners can shift when health, stress, or cognition changes. And because dogs communicate so much through behavior, a noticeable change in social closeness, monitoring, or responsiveness can be worth watching in context, especially if other behaviors change too. Age, pain, anxiety, and confusion can all alter how a dog seeks proximity and reassurance. Because behavior is one of the only ways your dog can tell you that something inside them or around them is no longer the same. So the next time you're having a hard day and your dog walks over without being called, remember what may really be happening. They may not be asking for a treat. They may not be bored. They may not be waiting for you to do something. They may be responding to the person who matters most to them, the face they watch most closely, the voice their body has learned to trust, the one presence that tells them whether the world still feels safe. You. Because after thousands of years beside us, dogs did not just learn how to live with humans. They learned how to read us, how to stay near us, how to notice when something in us changes. And when your dog comes to you in your quietest moments, the science suggests they may be saying something beautifully simple. Something changed in you. I felt it, and I came because you matter to me. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling me what your dog does when you're having a hard day. And if you want to understand why some dogs stare at you for long stretches without making a sound, that's the next video.